Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics here at the Hindu with me, Nistula Hebbar, where we unpack the news making the headlines in domestic politics. Now, this week, the news in domestic politics was all about the Congress and its rocky road to electing a new party president, a road that went through Rajasthan, one of the two states where the party is in power, and where a massive rebellion of MLAs close to Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot upturned plans of the Congress High Command in New Delhi to not just put a new All India president who was acceptable to them in place, but also to put in a new chief minister in the state. It's a tangled tale which we are still unraveling, as at the time of recording Talking Politics, there were some things still undecided. We will, however, proceed with what we know. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a background of just what went on and which led to all these big events that unraveled in Rajasthan. Basically, as we have discussed in a previous episode of Talking Politics, the Congress leadership decided that a new Congress president had to be elected soon, as since 2019 there had only been an interim Congress president, Sonia Gandhi, who had been president in the past and was acceptable to everybody, at the helm of affairs. This happened because Rahul Gandhi had resigned as Congress president, taking responsibility for the party's poll debacle in the 2019 general elections. Well, a ginger group called G23 of senior leaders had in fact raised the issue that it was high time that a new Congress president who would set right the organizational structure of the party, which was somnolent and which was not responsive really to the challenge posed by the BJP, should be done quickly. I mean, basically, this raising of this issue was something that everybody wanted to talk about, but it was these 23 senior leaders who wrote a letter, signed off on it. And although the issue was not taken, the raising of the issue was not taken very well by the High Command. In fact, several G23 leaders, including Ghulam Nabi Azad and Kapil Sibal, have now quit the party. The AICC, the All India Congress Committee session in Udaipur sometime this year did flag this issue, among others, like one man, one post, and only one person from a family being considered for tickets, etc. Taking this forward, a meeting of the CWC had set up a timetable for the election of a new Congress president, and concomitant with this poll process was also the launching of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which was being led by former party president Rahul Gandhi. It is to traverse 3,750 kilometers in over 5 months from south to north India. Basically, this was again being seen as something that would mobilize the cadre, mobilize party workers, organization, and also give a kind of a fillip to the leadership of Rahul Gandhi. At the beginning of the yatra itself, Rahul Gandhi had made it clear that he was not interested in being Congress president again. Now, this left his mother, interim Congress president Sonia Gandhi, in a bit of a quandary, as the fate of the Gandhi family and the Congress has been inextricably linked with that of the party organization for decades. Now, the Gandhis did not want to yield clout, and in the face of Rahul Gandhi's refusal to contest, basically him saying that, look, I don't want to contest, I don't want the formal position, I want to be one of the leaders, I want to kind of enjoy the clout that the Gandhi family enjoys in terms of authority within the Congress party, but without occupying the formal position, a placeholder for the Gandhis, trusted by them and senior enough to handle the declining fortunes of the party, had to be found. This search ended at the door of Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. Now, he was considered a Gandhi family loyalist to the core, and he had organizational heft as well. His work in the 2017 Gujarat Assembly elections was considered very good, because he really helped the party mount a challenge to the BJP in that state. Now, remember, that was an election where the BJP could not cross the 3-figure mark. Now, he also successfully saw off a rebellion by former state unit chief Sachin Pilot, in July 2020 to safeguard his government. So he had all the wherewithal that was necessary to be the new Congress president who could possibly set right what was organizationally wrong with the party, as the big challenge of the BJP again loomed large in the 2024 general elections. At that time of the rebellion, in fact, July 2020, when Sachin Pilot rebelled, taking away around 20 MLAs with him out of 102 that owed loyalty to the Congress. This is including those who won on a Congress ticket and independents and Bahujan Samaj Party MLAs, etc. At that time, to diffuse the crisis, AICC General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi had talked down the rebellion and promised dignity and position to Sachin Pilot, who had felt cheated out of the chief minister's post after having steered the party to power in the 2018 assembly elections. He had been the state unit president at that time, and since other state unit presidents of the states which went to poll at that time, which is Kamal Nath for Madhya Pradesh and Bhupesh Baghel for Chhattisgarh, had been made chief ministers of those states, he expected that he too would be made chief minister of Rajasthan, but he was outwitted by Mr. Gehlot. He rebelled, and then he was promised that at some point of time his grievance would be handled properly. Now, the election to the Congress president's post was seen as a way of getting out of this quandary. So Gandhis thought that by getting Gehlot to Delhi, they could clear the way for Pilot in Rajasthan and Rahul Gandhi's reiteration that the Udaipur declaration for one man, one post stood, made it clear that that was the plan, and that was actually also the point where the plan completely unraveled. Now, on September 26th, now I'm giving you a little bit of a timeline. It was a little confusing for a lot of people because there were political developments happening every single moment. So I asked for a bit of help from my colleague Shobna Nair, and she has come up with this timeline of exactly what happened in Rajasthan over the weekend. Now, on September 26th, Sunday, a meeting of the Congress Legislative Party was called at 7 p.m. at Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's residence. Basically, the idea was that, as is very normal in the Congress, there would be a one-line resolution that would be passed by the Legislative Party authorizing current Congress President Sonia Gandhi to select the next Chief Minister of the state, and that she would anoint Sachin Pilot, and that would be that. The two central observers, Mallikarjun Kharge and Ajay Maken, reached Jaipur by that afternoon. Around the same time, the party's chief whip, Mahesh Joshi, is said to have started calling the MLAs to come over for a meeting at Parliamentary Affairs Minister Shanti Kumar Dhariwal's residence at 5 p.m. So there was going to be a legislative party meeting at 7, but before that, at 5 p.m., the chief whip asked all MLAs to gather at Shanti Kumar Dhariwal's house. That was at 5 p.m., 2 hours before the meeting. In the afternoon, addressing reporters, Chief Minister Gehlot had confirmed that a one-line resolution would be passed at the Legislative Party meeting. But at 7 p.m. on that day, when the MLAs were supposed to be at Mr. Gehlot's residence, there were nearly 90 MLAs out of 102 at Mr. Dhariwal's residence. And now this includes around 87 or something Congress MLAs, and others were independent. So there were around 90 at Mr. Dhariwal's residence, and none of them were showing signs of moving to the Chief Minister's residence, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's residence. Basically, the MLAs refused to move out of Mr. Dhariwal's house, alleging that the two observers, Mr. Maken and Mr. Kharge, were trying to impose Sachin Pilot as the Chief Minister of the state against the wishes of the Legislative Party. Gehlot detractors claimed that by afternoon itself, tents had been erected at Mr. Dhariwal's residence, and a bus was suitably parked next to his house. Now, this bus, what was it for, you may ask? Well, at 9:30 p.m. that very night, the MLAs sat in the bus and left for Speaker C.P. Joshi's residence to allegedly submit their resignation letters, saying that they were in no mood to have Sachin Pilot foisted on them as Chief Minister. Now, by 10 p.m., after seeing the situation get out of hand, Mr. Markan and Mr. Kharge, in an attempt to arrive at a truce, called up representatives of the agitating MLAs and said, please come to the Chief Minister's residence. We are waiting here. We want to talk to you. We want to know what is happening. Now, three leaders who since then have been served a show cause notice over indiscipline, Mr. Dhariwal, Mr. Mahesh Joshi, and Cabinet Minister Pratap Singh Kachariawas, turned up at the Chief Minister's residence. They had three conditions. A, that a one-line resolution empowering the AICC president should be applicable only after October 19th, when the new president of the Congress party had taken over. Now, one must remember that till Sunday, Mr. Gehlot was the front runner for the Congress president's position, and he was largely expected to sail through the polls, and basically he would then be authorized, according to the conditions put by the MLAs, he should be authorized to decide who would be his successor. Mr. Markan rejected this, saying that there was a clear conflict of interest, that the CLP would be empowering Mr. Gehlot himself to take a decision on himself. The second condition that the trio put was that no one from the group of 19 MLAs who had raised the flag of rebellion in July 2020, along with Sachin Pilot, should be chosen as Mr. Gehlot's successor. Now, obviously, this included Sachin Pilot himself and all his loyalists, basically saying, we don't want these guys, keep them away, and somebody from a Gehlot camp itself should be chosen as the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Now, when Mr. Markan and Mr. Kharge asked the emissaries to send the MLAs so that they could speak to them one-on-one, the three leaders insisted that the MLAs would come in groups. They would not meet the central observers one-on-one. The MLAs were at Mr. C.P. Joshi's residence past midnight, and as per sources, they was fed dinner there too. Now, seeing that things had gotten out of hand, that the MLAs were adamant and well organized and united, the central observers returned to Delhi with a full-blown rebellion dogging them. Now, three things out of all of this immediately became clear. A, that the majority of the MLAs would not accept Sachin Pilot as Chief Minister, that Mr. Gehlot's candidature as the Gandhi's candidate for the post of party president was now forfeit, because he had obviously raised the banner of revolt, and therefore his qualification as a loyalist had been put seriously in question. He had questioned the authority of the High Command, and in fact, it was this authority of the High Command that was now in pieces. Later, Mr. Gehlot came to Delhi. He apparently apologized to Congress President Sonia Gandhi, but he also insisted in that meeting in making it clear that the rank and file of the Congress in Rajasthan considered Mr. Pilot a traitor to the party and backed him, Mr. Gehlot. This also meant operationally that a Gandhi-backed candidate had to be identified in a hurry. Former Union Minister Shashi Tharoor, who is part of the G23 group, and former Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Digvijay Singh, neither of them universally popular within the Congress party, threw their hat in the ring as candidates. At the end of the day, for nominations, however, leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, Mallikarjun Kharge, was identified and persuaded by to be the Gandhi-backed nominee for party president. Now, polls for the Congress president will be held mid-October, and all expectations are that Mr. Kharge would be elected. What is more important, however, is who will be the Chief Minister of Rajasthan. Having promised Sachin Pilot and facing a rebellion from Gehlot loyalist MLAs, a large number of them, a third unexceptionable leader may have to be elected. But seeing as how the authority of the party high command has been eroded, it is not going to be an easy thing to do. This is an imbroglio which will be very difficult to solve and says more about the state of the party than anything else. Congress via the mobilization through the Bharat Jodo Yatra and public statements, has been saying that without it, there can be no unified opposition force to take on the BJP, that it has to be the fulcrum of opposition unity, and other regional parties have to gravitate around the Congress's axis. But the events in the past week have shown that its house is in serious disorder, and the Gandhis themselves are much diminished in political authority within their own party. How will this situation evolve further? Obviously, we have to see who will be the next Chief Minister of Rajasthan. I will be there to explain all of that when that happens. But for this week, this is all I have. Thank you for watching.